Imagine building the largest oil refinery on Earth, not with government money, not with foreign state backing, but with your own fortune. For 40 years, Nigeria tried and failed to build a refinery powerful enough to stop importing fuel. One businessman succeeded, Aliko Dangote, and now he wants to do it again. A $17 billion mega refinery, 650,000 barrels of oil every single day. 3 countries are now competing to host it. One announcement triggered a diplomatic backlash. Another country entered the race unexpectedly. And the billionaire at the center of it all is watching governments compete for his approval. Because this is no longer just an energy project. It is a battle over who controls East Africa's industrial future. To understand why East Africa wants this refinery so badly, you first need to understand what Dangote already achieved. In Nigeria, for decades, Africa's largest oil producer had a humiliating problem. Nigeria exported crude oil, then imported refined fuel back at a premium. The system drained billions of dollars every year. Governments promised reform. Presidents made speeches. Projects were announced, but nothing worked. Then Aliko Dangote stepped in. Over 10 years, he built the largest single-train refinery in the world. Critics said it was impossible, too expensive, too complex, too ambitious for Africa. Then, in early 2026, the refinery reached full operating capacity, and suddenly, African countries began scrambling to buy fuel from Lagos. Kenya, South Africa, Ethiopia, even buyers outside Africa started paying attention. At the same time, instability in the Middle East began disrupting global fuel routes, and Dangote saw an opening. Why should East Africa keep exporting crude, only to buy back expensive refined fuel? Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan did not stay silent. When President Ruto visited Dar es Salaam weeks later, she publicly pushed back. The refinery announcement, she said, had been made without consultation. And diplomatically, that mattered. Why not refine it there instead? But Samia understood something important. Complaining was not enough. She needed leverage. Fast. Within days, she met Dangote personally at State House. And she came prepared. She reminded him of his own history in Tanzania. Years earlier, Dangote's massive cement investment in Mtwara had faced serious operational challenges. Her government stepped in to stabilize the project. Today, the facility produces millions of tons of cement annually. Her message was direct. When you invest in Tanzania, we protect your investment. And just like that, Tanzania was back in the game. But while Tanzania was regrouping, Dangote was already eyeing Kenya. He didn't hold back either, stating publicly, "I'm leaning more towards Mombasa because Mombasa has a bigger and deeper port." This shifted the entire dynamic. Dangote also pointed out, Kenyans consume more, and it's a larger economy. This means the refinery wouldn't just be about exporting fuel. It would be right in one of East Africa's biggest consumer markets. Then came a key breakthrough. Dangote mentioned that crude oil could come in directly by sea, which meant the refinery didn't have to be located near Uganda's pipeline anymore. Suddenly, Tanzania's geographical edge started to lose its strength. Kenya took action, with the government showing readiness to help fund the project. Then Dangote laid out his terms: land, government financing, and protection against cheap fuel imports. That last condition was crucial. Dangote warned that low-cost fuel imports from places like Russia and India could undermine the refinery's profitability. He made it clear, the ball is in President Ruto's hands. However, he left the door open for Tanzania, saying if they sort themselves out, the refinery could still end up there. It was cold, strategic, and calculated. Just when it seemed like it was a battle between Kenya and Tanzania, Ethiopia entered the picture. On May 18th, Dangote visited Ethiopia's Somali region and announced a significant expansion of his fertilizer investments. At first glance, that seemed unrelated, but it wasn't. Suddenly, a landlocked country became a player in this refinery competition. Ethiopia might not have a port, but it has something that Kenya and Tanzania can't quickly create: a population of 130 million people, making it Africa's second-largest market and a growing fuel consumer. With strong connections to Dangote's industrial empire, Ethiopia might not host the refinery physically, but in terms of strategy, commerce, and finance, it could become a major player in the project. Kenya needs to safeguard its local refining capabilities. Tanzania lost its early lead, and Ethiopia, despite lacking a coastline, is making moves. East Africa has seen similar situations before. Years ago, Kenya was set to be the host for the East African crude oil pipeline until Tanzania made a better offer, causing Kenya to lose out. That history is significant because infrastructure battles in East Africa often take time to resolve. They're usually decided in the long run, and this competition is far from over. We're talking about a $17 billion refinery, 100,000 of jobs, and a chance for East Africa to gain more control over its energy future. Dangote has already built one impressive refinery. Now 3 countries are vying to be the next site for his next big project. Where do you think the refinery should be located? Kenya? Tanzania? Or is there still a chance for Ethiopia to influence the outcome?